I don't think it was reflective of the game. I think we definitely grew into the game after being pretty sloppy in the first half. The wind, the rain, the field was definitely getting to us. And in the end, I thought we were in control. And then I think it's just managing the game, and that will come, of course. I don't think we make those mistakes twice, and that'll come with more experience and just more games. But yeah, we just need to get the ball out of our own area when we're winning like that, and then of course we'll take a look at what happened on the free kick. But credit to them for scoring under that kind of pressure. They wanted to get a point away from the game. So yeah, we're obviously super disappointed that it came down to those final minutes, but I think we're pretty proud as a team, exhausted, happy, and we're all so excited to play in a few days.
For some of the younger players that were making their debuts tonight, especially, the center backs, I mean, how did you feel they did tonight? What was kind of your assessment of their performance on the back line?
I think as a whole, we struggled a little bit in the first half to stay composed. We had a high line, they were getting in behind, but we were constantly communicating, and I'm proud of the whole team. No matter how old you are, how many years you've been on this team, there's always problem solving going on. We're listening to each other, we're trying to do our best, we're in it together from the first minute to the last minute, and it's so fun to play together. And it's cool that there was a bunch of us that it was our first game, even though we've been on the team for like over a year. So there were nerves, but I think the two center backs really showed in the second half how good they are, how fast they are, how agile they are. And that's why it was, of course, disappointing to give up a goal, but in the second half like that. But I think they showed their dominance, and with a little more time together, the sky's the limit for those two.
We'll go to Austin David.
Hey, Allie. I just wanted to ask about what it was like playing in front of fans again. Was it a weird experience? Was it something just you have to get used to again? Like, just tell me about it.
No, it was awesome. I was lucky in Sweden, we were able to have fans at a couple of games, but here the atmosphere, I don't know, you almost forgot how it's been the last year, because it was so cool. Like, they really turned out tonight, and we had Orlando Pride. It was pretty quiet when we scored, but when we were walking out and coming in and after the game, there were Pride fans here, and that's so cool. And it was a great atmosphere. And again, they had purple, and I know we were wearing white, but I was kind of like, ooh, like maybe they're cheering for us, but they weren't. But having the drums going, and yeah, it's hard to hear each other, but that's the beauty of it. That it's so fun. It was such a great atmosphere, and it's a great stadium. And I think this team has done an incredible job for their first ever game. Like, so much credit. It was a great atmosphere. It really was. And it was pouring rain for almost the whole game. So everyone stuck it out and was so enthusiastic. And yeah, it was really, really, really cool.
We're gonna go to Scott Cannavale.
Hey, Al, you just mentioned it, but the weather, I mean, how big of a factor was that? Especially, I mean, it looked like a lot of players were slipping out there.
It was crazy. We trained on the field last night. It was so hot. It was so dry, and the grass is really thick. The ball doesn't move. Same in the warm-up. So like, obviously as players, we take responsibility for the type of shoes we're wearing. But I don't see how we could have predicted that this was going to happen. And I mean, just from the moment I first slipped, I'm like, they told us we were going to have a water break because it was so hot. So we're like trying to get the shoes ready so we could switch. And then of course, with the pouring rain, we didn't have the water break. So we switched at halftime, and it felt a lot better. And then of course the rain stopped. But I mean, I know Ash was just saying, like, the wind and the rain just straight in our eyes in that first half. It was really wild. It definitely affected the game, but of course they're experiencing the same thing. But the slipping, as a defender, you hate to see it.
We'll go to Luis Carlos Pineda.
How you doing, Allie? On the 83rd minute, you kind of had a little friction with Racing Louisville Balcom, I think.
A little friction, is that what we're gonna call it?
Yeah. So I wonder how your knee is doing, and obviously, I got kind of scared of what might have happened after that.
Yeah, I mean, it was really scary. I think as a defender, like those moments when you're really vulnerable, when you clear a ball and someone comes up, studs up straight into your leg, like that can end your career. So obviously I was really scared. I'll be tweeting pictures of my leg later, don't worry. But I just wish the refs would take responsibility, like at least say I didn't see it or something. Like I know she got the card, but don't say that she stepped on my foot and then not look at my leg where I have a full cleat on my shin. So that's just frustrating. Like everyone makes mistakes and refs can get it wrong, but like at least acknowledge that you didn't see what happened. And I don't really know how, because the lines was right near the sideline. And I hope that they'll look at it again. So in future games, like no one gets hurt like that. And it's really scary, and it's hard to kind of keep going when you feel really vulnerable and know that like you can get injured like that. So, but it was so cool that the team, I know that they had my back, and then we scored after that. So, but yeah, I think it's always scary to go into those situations when you feel like the refs are there to protect you. And then, and like the player too, like I don't think she was trying to hurt me, but it doesn't really matter in that situation. I think the refs should just take responsibility. If they didn't see it, say that, don't make up something that didn't happen.
Thank you.
We're gonna go back to Julia.
Ali, you mentioned how long you've waited for this moment. What did it feel like, in the locker room beforehand? Did you do anything special, kind of take a moment to take it in? Just can you kind of walk through what that felt like before and in the early moments of the game?
Yeah, I think it's cool because obviously we focus on the last year, but for me, I've waited since 2011 to come back and play in the US, and had a few opportunities to come back, specifically to Orlando, and didn't take it until last year. And I just was able to look around the locker room, and Mark said it too, like not just for me, but for all of us, to look at each other and this amazing team we have, amazing women, amazing human beings, and just to enjoy the night and fight for each other. And I think a big theme of this season is going to be togetherness and culture, because we have the players, we have the talent, we have footballers, but what can make a difference and make or break a team, a season, is the culture and fighting for each other. And I think we did show that tonight. And the stuff that we need to clean up is, what happened on the set piece, and maybe we were playing a little bit naive in the first half with how high our line was, but in terms of the team dynamic and the team culture, it's so good. And I was just enjoying it. I was definitely a nervous wreck yesterday, but today, I think when I got in the locker room and like looked around me at my players and knowing that Marta would be in front of me, like I just felt really calm and just so excited. I'm so grateful. And to be able to be here in this league with the fans, the environment, the level of play, I just was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I'm so lucky to be experiencing this, and hopefully, for a long time.
All right, Ali, final question from Austin David.
Ali, I just wanted to ask you about Taylor and Abby's goals, seeing them score, considering that they're, rookies themselves. Just talk to me about what you saw from those goals and how you felt.
I love these girls, and it's so funny that they're rookies, but not rookies. And it must be weird for them too, to have come in last year expecting something so different coming out of college, and then having the weirdest year. They both were overseas. And then came back, and Abby too, had an injury, and then you could see this huge cast she had on, and they're taking their chance when they're getting them. And of course we're going to be rotating, and we have a lot of competition, and I love that they took those chances they had today, and showed what they can do, showed that they should be playing what they can give, the style they play. And Taylor, you can see, is such a threat having her in there. And Abby with her speed, there's so many great individuals on this team that give such different things. And I think that's going to be really important to having a successful season, because of the FIFA windows, because of injuries, because of the tight turnaround between games. And they show that they're ready to make an impact, whether they start, whether they come in, and we all can learn from that. And I think that's going to be really important, and that contributes again to the culture of this team.
Awesome, Ali. Thank you so much. Congrats again on the return, and we will see you when you get back to Orlando.
Thank you. See you soon.